What's going on, Transformer fans? I got another video out today. Looks like we're getting a little busy today. It's another case video. This video is the case for Jazz to be in the Earthrise line. Now, I don't have Jazz from the Power to Primes line, but I have Ricochet, which basically is just a repaint of Jazz. And basically it's the same mold. And then, of course, I have the Reveal the Shield Jazz, also the Chug version of Jazz, which this is actually from the Ultimate gift set that came out in 2012. This is more of a redeco of the United version of Jazz, which had better paint apps such as the wheels, where you can see here they had painted the rims, and there's a few other features that let you know that this is based on basically the United version. And the same thing can be said if you have the Ultimate gift set for the Combat Hero Optimus Prime. It has the shoulders that came with the United version of G2 Hero Prime. So yes, they did use the Japanese Takara set even with the headlights, because on the RTS version he's missing those important details. Same thing on the back. So this is a very nice deco. I'm gonna put it right here that this is one tough. I like this Jazz. I love what they did for even the Reveal the Shield Jazz with his lack of paint apps. He still looks like Jazz, but this one is really nice because it has like a sort of a G2 vibe. Now this is not necessarily, again, it's not a comparison. It's not in depth to say, oh, this is better, this is worse, but this ain't a fun toy either. This is when they went to that plastic. But if you don't have Ricochet or Stepper, because to get the Reveal the Shield redeco of Jazz into Ricochet or Stepper, you got to get the millionth publishing, and he kind of goes for a very high price. I've seen him go maybe around 150. I'll have to look again, but last time I checked, the price was just too goddamn high. So yes, this is why this video is not intended for people under the age of 13, because I'm going to say it, you're going to pay a lot for him. But he is a fantastic redeco. I mean, the paint job is, basically it's the United version repainted. But this one's nice too. Things to be said for the Select Ricochet. I do like him, and being that he's a slightly different mold than Jazz, I don't have to say he's just another, repaint brother. So we're going to start with this guy with the transformation and everything like that. So give me one moment here. I'm going to take his gun out. I don't like transforming him. I'm going to let y'all know that now. I really hate transforming. This is one of the Transformers I hate. This is because of the legs. I hate his legs. I hate what they did when they started that whole collapsible plastic mess that they started with Combiner Wars. And Combiner Wars can be a disappointment when it comes to that. Also, this guy is very loose, so you'll need to tighten up the joints, which I did on mine. And this part, I never really like his chest. I'm like, this thing's so annoying. So I always forget how to do certain things, but I guess you pop the head out and fold that in. Right? That's how you do it. Come on, Internet, help! Internet, help! I think that goes down. I forgot how to do this thing. Oh my gosh. See? This is why you don't transform on camera. I was like, you don't know what you're doing. You're right. I do not. Oh. Just made the head come off. So I guess it just, because I know it's supposed to fold down or something. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, I screwed it up. I sure did screw it up. Alright, I gotta remember how to transform this guy. Give me one moment. So that's supposed to go under. Right? I never quite understood this whole chest part here. Like I just, oh God, who designed this thing? Yeah, let's do. You know, that's another thing too, man. I know everybody wants intuitive transformation, and I want to, you know, act like I'm building the toy and shit, man. But really, some of that shit's not necessary, man. I'm just gonna say that. So let's put the head back on. See, even the heads, they ain't even on like a mushroom peg, man. And you know, how they say, not my jazz. You know. And yeah, I know he comes with the crystal and other stuff. I don't do the whole, like, I'm past Combiner Wars, so, you know, y'all have to forgive me on that. You know. So, this is, but we got it right. Had a little hiccup there. But that's why, you know, we go to YouTube, not to see sketches. We see things happening for real. So he's done. Let's take a look at him. He's not a bad looking figure. I mean, you know, yeah, I like him. You know, I just feel like me getting him as Ricochet is, you know, why I prefer to get him as Ricochet. I don't really like him as being, you know, I don't like him as being my jazz. It's because of that jazz. And we're gonna get to that in a moment. Oh, this is gonna be the fun part. But looking at a few things, he's not bad, you know. I mean, especially this demo. Like, my friend had the jazz, and I was like, ugh, that thing's horrible, man. Who did that? You should get your money back. But you know, he's not bad. He's not bad at all. But we're gonna get to now. This is why it's really hard to make a case for this jazz. This jazz, he is slightly bigger than the current Siege line toys. Like, he's bigger than Prowl. He's bigger than Hound. He's bigger than Mirage. He's way bigger than Sideswipe. But as y'all know, Jazz was number 2. And, you know, he was number 2. I don't know if y'all agree or disagree, but in my opinion, he was number 2. He was prime right-hand man, you know, voiced by Scatman Crothers. Hey, you know, Hong Kong Phooey, the whole 9. So, let's make the case for this jazz. It's going to be hard to replace him. Unless they, you know, because they're going to use the Dotson mold. And the thing with this is an improvement, a big improvement over the Dotson, the, you know, sort of Dotson mold they did in Universe line. And it you know, I almost wish that they kind of repurposed this and used the same mold to make Prowl in Blue Streak and Smokescreen in that line, because the doors on that, I don't know what they were thinking with that whole let's fold the door up and then fold it up again. Like, that didn't make sense. And every time you transform it, you're taking off, basically that panel comes off. I don't know anybody who can transform it without doing that. And I'm wrong, but you know, you can peg it back on. But you know, that's why a lot of people like the Siege Prowl and Siege Blue Streak. But as we all know, they're gonna do that G1 look. That being said, because they're smaller, he's large. He's not overly large. He's still shorter than Siege Prime. And in a way, if you have him in your collection, him being slightly bigger, like if you don't have this version of Jazz, or let's say you have the United Jazz, or you have even the RTS Jazz, you can make the case for him being, second in command. I'm not giving it to Ironhide. Ironhide is like, Jazz is that dude. And even in the comics, Jazz was that guy. So, IDW. Well, enough talk. Let's get into transformation. Now, sorry, y'all. I am kind of careful with this Jazz. Because oh, Lord, this Jazz. This is my favorite Jazz. That's why I don't like transforming my toys too much. He always gives that crunch. And people, this is a very tricky piece right there. Those tabs. A lot of people buy the Jazz. They're gone. If you ask me how I did it, I never know how I did that. I always do it because I'm just careful. I've had all 3 versions of this Jazz. I gave the RTS Jazz to my son, and he's not a toy collector anymore, but he has a lot of the stuff that I used to own that I had duplicates of, and a friend of mine who could never find a Jazz, bought the Jazz off of him. So he gave him like $20 or something, which at that time you could still get toys for $9.99. And there goes the gun. And the gun would always fit under the chest, so there's 2 little holes right there, and that's where the gun sits. And it's gonna pop out. The only problem with this Jazz is it didn't have a locking mechanism. See, it doesn't. But the head, it's on like a nice little. There's another thing about this Jazz that was cool. The head would come out. So even if it didn't lock into place, it wasn't something where you're gonna, oh my God, the Jazz didn't lock into place. And now you got Jazz almost done. Let's get those legs straightened out. Let's get those feet set up here. Make sure they're right as well. Jazz. I'm always a little iffy about these feet too, because you never really know which way to position them. But this is still a good Jazz. And then you can take these speakers and you could put them on his shoulder, like you did on with a G1 toy, or you can stick them, stick them however you like. If you want to give Jazz that, I'm about to blow your mind with this music, then you can do that, And he came with some accessories, man. He wasn't just, came with some nice accessories. And you got the gun. Just put the gun right there. This gun. Hold on, y'all. Gotta get it right. So, there you go, man. I mean, shoot. You can go. This is a nice Jazz, my God. You really will. Yes, he is done. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Well, let's put them side by side here. Okay, well, I like him as Ricochet, but that's my Jazz. This is Jazz. Look at that. Look at that. That Ricochet. Yeah, he's a bit lacking on the paint apps. His head almost fell off. I'm about to fix that. But this guy, I mean, it's got its glory. That paint job this is a very nice pearl white paint job, and it's not that dirty white. It's a nice clean white, and the deco You know, it's a very sporty deco. I love this Jazz. You should get this ultimate gift set, Jazz. And yeah, Ricochet looks good. Jazz, Ricochet, Jazz. Now, the next question is, and the final question is, should this Jazz be replaced? Man, this is tough because they really did do a good job with this Jazz. Every version of this Jazz, the only difference is that the Reveal the Shield is like the paint apps. But other than that, they nailed this Jazz. This is one of the figures that Generations Chug got right. And it wasn't even in Generations. Reveal the Shield. This was Reveal the Shield. It's going to be hard if they make a Jazz. They do need to make a Jazz in the sense that, you know, this is an older scaling of him. I mean, he would benefit from having that, from, you know, being, you know, maybe scaled with them. But I don't want them to lose this luster. I don't want them to lose this, you know, design, because that's how Jazz look. And I mean, you can even put the doors back if you want to give them the doorless look. But I like Jazz with the door look. But I mean, they did a good job. Leave the, you know, because you can make that speaker gun. But I like to have the speakers on the shoulder. This guy, when they did the Reveal the Shield, I didn't really know what they were going for. Because in my opinion, Reveal the Shield, excuse me, let me correct myself before y'all come jumping at me. Power to Primes is a very nonsensical line. There was no rhyme or reason to it. Like, sorry about that, y'all. Stupid interruption on the phone. Don't film videos with a phone. But what I was saying, you know, they had a nice iteration already. And I don't know what they were trying to, you know, figure out with, oh, we're just going to make a transformable toy, something like that, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know, so be it. All right, I get it. But that Powder Prime is just, so we got a Jazz figure that we just hey, we just throw Jazz in it. And, you know, he just looked, you know, he's a race car. It's just, you know, this is Jazz. Now, I'm going to say, put your opinions if you think that this Jazz needs to be replaced with a more up-to-date Jazz from the Siege, well, or less Earthrise line. And, you know, we can just do whatever we want to do with this one. You know, and if you feel that way, you feel strongly, then say yeah. If you don't feel strongly, then, you know, I get it. All right, this is Ed Talk signing off. Have a good one.